Do you ever just feel, completely overloaded, information everywhere, decisions piling up?
Oh, absolutely. It feels like a constant barrage sometimes, doesn't it? And making choices. Forget about it.
Exactly. It's like you're trying to navigate in this thick fog, just wishing you had some kind of, I don't know, reliable inner GPS or something.
That's a great way to put it. What if that inner compass isn't just wishful thinking? What if it's actually already there, just maybe offline?
Right. We're so used to looking outside for answers, data, opinions, what everyone else is doing.
We are, but maybe the best tool we have is internal. We just need to tune it in.
And that's exactly what we're unpacking today in this deep dive. We've got our hands on some source material excerpts from the 12-Day Breathwork Challenge Companion, your ultimate guide to intuition and third eye activation.
It's quite a structured approach they lay out.
It really is. It's not just philosophical fluff. It gives you this day-by-day roadmap. Using breathwork, ancient techniques, but framed for us now, the whole goal,
Yeah.
unlocking that inner guidance system.
Right. It's presented as a practical path. So our mission today is to really dig into these teachings from the companion guide.
Yeah, we're looking specifically at the teachings of the School of Breath, really focusing on Abhi Duggal's perspective on, well, just as it's presented in these sources.
We want to get a handle on its step-by-step approach, the actual techniques it uses.
And crucially, the benefits it claims you can get over those 12 days.
Right.
What's inside, essentially.
So you can kind of picture this challenge as a guided pathway. The sources are suggesting it's a way to potentially reach a state of, well, heightened awareness.
And intuition, yeah. And the core concept, the thing this whole program really builds on, according to the sources, is the third eye.
Right. They describe it as, a mystical energy center. Ajna chakra, I think is the term.
Ajna chakra, yeah. Located right there between the eyebrows.
And they link it to things like intuition, wisdom, spiritual awakening.
We want to get clear on how they say breath work and these specific practices actually work to, access intuition and light up this thing they call the third eye.
And crucially, what kind of transformation does the guide suggest is possible? Like really gaining clarity, navigating life with more confidence. That's the promise, isn't it?
That's the core promise. So think of us as taking you through the guide's key ideas, the daily structure they lay out. We'll explore what the challenge is designed to help you achieve.
Sounds good. Let's map it out.
Perfect. So get ready. We're going to explore how these, ancient practices meet some modern understanding to maybe help you see beyond your usual limits, find that inner compass.
Okay, so where do we start? The guide probably begins with intuition itself, right? What is intuition, according to this source?
It does. And right off the bat, the definition might be a bit different. It's described not just as a hunch, but as the intelligence of the body.
The intelligence of the body. Okay, that immediately grounds it, doesn't it? Makes it less airy-fairy and more, physical.
Totally. And it goes
Okay.
deeper. This body intelligence is apparently a mix of things. Your subconscious conditioning,
Oh, yeah.
all those patterns running in the background.
Yeah, the stuff we don't even realize is guiding us.
That plus your memories, your lived experiences, and then this layer they call wisdom.
Okay, so it's not random. It's like this complex internal database drawing on everything, conscious, subconscious experience, plus this wisdom factor.
Exactly. And the big takeaway from the source is that you can tap into this. But there's a key. You need to align your body.
Align the body, so bring it into balance somehow. Physically, energetically, mentally too, I suppose.
That seems to be the idea. When everything's aligned, the signal from that deep intelligence gets clearer, easier to hear.
Right. And that naturally leads us to the third eye, doesn't it? That's central in this challenge.
It is. The guide is specific about the location
Yeah.
between the eyebrows. Yeah. A bit higher up on the forehead.
And associated with the light element in their system, which makes intuitive sense, given it's about seeing.
Seeing clearly, seeing truth. And here's where it gets interesting for maybe more skeptical audience. The guide connects it to the pineal gland.
The physical correlate idea. That bridges the gap for some
Okay.
people.
It points to MRI studies apparently showing the pineal gland lighting up during deep meditation.
Right, I've heard about that research. And it mentions long-term meditators having higher activation there.
Yeah, and links that to higher melatonin levels, which is linked to better brain health.
Okay, so the implication here, according to the source, is that these practices might not just be working on some subtle energy level, but could actually be like rejuvenating the brain, balancing hormones.
That's what they suggest. It's framing these ancient ideas with a nod to modern science, using that research as supporting evidence within their framework. Awakening intuition, and potentially improving brain health simultaneously.
It's a compelling angle. So we have intuition as body intelligence, the third eye, possibly linked to the pineal gland as the center for accessing it via light or clarity, and alignment being the key. What does the guide say it feels like when it's working, when the third eye is open?
Well, the description is definitely appealing. Starts with clarity. Clarity of thought, insight, not just ideas, but like really seeing into things,
Understanding the essence of something.
which naturally fuels strong intuition, that gut feeling, but clearer, more reliable.
And vivid imagination is on the list too. That's interesting. So it's not just receiving, it's also about creative perception, envisioning things.
Seems like it. Also, seeing the big picture. Stepping back from the weeds and grasping the whole context, the connections.
Yeah, that feeling of knowing that just bypasses logic sometimes. You can't always explain why, you know, but you do.
The source puts it nicely. Seeing without confusion, perceiving truth behind appearances. Like lifting a veil.
Seeing things more as they are. Okay.
Yeah.
And it can show up subtly too, right? Like intuitive flashes or meaningful dreams.
Yeah, those sudden aha moments or dreams that feel like they're telling you something important. The guide mentions those.
And ultimately, it leads to trusting that inner guidance, doesn't it? That's the practical payoff.
Right. Making decisions, understanding relationships, spotting those old patterns that trip you up, navigating all that complexity with this internal compass instead of just logic or external pressure.
It sounds like a much more, well, empowered way to move through life.
Definitely. But what about the other side of the coin? What if the third eye is blocked or, underactive? What does the guide say that looks like?
Uh-oh. Yeah, the description of a blocked third eye. It, unfortunately, probably sounds familiar to a lot of people. Feeling really indecisive is a big one.
Stuck. Can't make a choice. Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. Getting caught in logical over-analysis, your mind just spins and spins, but you don't get anywhere deeper. You can't access that body intelligence.
And being deluded by false beliefs. That's another one the source mentions.
Yeah, if your inner vision is cloudy, you're more likely to buy into illusions, right? Misconceptions about yourself, about the world. You just don't have the clarity to see past them.
And this leads to that feeling the guide describes as seeing reality through a fog of confusion, fear, or attachment.
That fog metaphor is powerful, isn't it? It really captures that sense of not seeing clearly, like your view is obscured by all this mental and emotional clutter.
It does. And the guide makes a crucial point here. This is why we often end up creating confusion in our own lives.
How so?
Well, if you're trying to make decisions from within that fog, relying only on logic that's distorted by fear or false beliefs, you're kind of set up to make choices that lead to more confusion, right?
Ah, okay. Because you're not connected to that clearer signal. Your navigation system is faulty because the input is foggy.
Precisely. So the confusion isn't inherent. It's often a symptom of this blocked connection to our intuition, according to this source.
And the guide contrasts that stuck in the fog feeling with the potential of an open third eye seeing beyond limits, perceiving truth, navigating with clarity. It positions the challenge as the way out of the fog.
So how does this 12-day journey actually do that? How does it take you from fog to clarity? It's described as progressive, right? Building day by day.
Yes, very structured. They use a great analogy in the guide.
Right.
It's like lighting a lamp.
Oh, how does that go?
First, you generate the fuel, that's the vital energy, prana, down at the base. Then you channel that energy upward, chakra by chakra. And finally, you ignite the intuitive power of the third eye.
I like that. Build the energy, guide it up, clear the path, then ignite. Makes sense. So each day focuses on a specific chakra or theme.
Exactly. The core goal is balancing the whole energy system, the 7 main chakras, from the root, Muladhara, all the way to the crown, Sahasrara.
Moving from earth element up to pure consciousness.
Right, and balancing these centers isn't just about intuition. The guide claims it brings inner peace and improves overall health, physical, emotional, spiritual. It's holistic.
Okay, so before we get into the really focused third eye stuff later on, maybe give us a quick rundown of the first 6 days, just to set the stage.
Sure. Day 1 is root chakra, grounding, earth element, all about feeling safe, stable, dealing with those basic fears that block energy right at the foundation.
Day 2 moves up to the sacral chakra, water element. Focus here is emotions, balancing them, healing old stuff, connecting with creativity, pleasure.
Then day 3 hits the solar plexus, fire element. This is your power center, confidence, ambition, personal direction, getting that inner fire burning cleanly.
Day 4, we reach the heart chakra, air element. Relationships, love, forgiveness, opening up that space of compassion and connection.
Day 5 stays with the heart, but focuses specifically on self-love, really digging into negative patterns, self-criticism, and rediscovering your true self underneath all that.
And day 6 is the throat chakra, ether or space element, finding your voice, speaking your truth clearly, communication.
And they even mention this yogic idea that with an awakened throat chakra, your words gain real power, power to manifest.
Wow. Okay, so it's a very deliberate clearing and building process. Stability, emotional balance, personal power, open heart, clear voice, all laying the groundwork.
Precisely, preparation for accessing the higher centers. Which brings us neatly to day 7. This is where the guide really zooms in on the third eye.
Right. Day 7, the foundation of intuition. Seeing beyond limits. What are the key practices here?
It starts with alternate nostril breathing.
Okay, why that one specifically here?
The guide explains it's fundamental for balancing the body's subtle energy channels, the Ida and Pingala nadis. Think of them like the parasympathetic and sympathetic systems, or feminine and masculine energies. The idea is the third eye opens more easily when these are in harmony.
Makes sense. Balance first, and you focus on the third eye spot while doing it.
Yep, attention between the eyebrows. You visualize the breath, maybe as light, moving up the central channel to that point, consciously directing the prana.
Got it. What else on day 7?
Pranayama, the humming bee breath.
Ah, the humming one. How is it used here?
You gently close your ears, hum on the exhale, and really focus that vibration into the forehead area. The guide suggests this stimulates the frontal lobes, the pineal gland area, again, that potential physiological link.
And they mention benefits like relaxation, lower heart rate.
They do, citing research suggesting it triggers the relaxation response, improves attention. So you're stimulating the area and calming the system simultaneously, creating receptivity.
You might start feeling things, like tingling.
Yeah, subtle pressure, tingling, maybe even a pulsing or throbbing in the forehead, signs that energy is moving there, activating the center, according to the source.
Okay, so the breathwork sets the stage. Then there's a meditation.
A dedicated third eye meditation. Eyes closed, gaze gently turned slightly upward towards that space between the eyebrows. No straining, just a soft inward focus.
And visualization.
Visualizing an indigo or deep purple light there. That's the traditional color. And the key instruction is just to observe whatever comes up, thoughts, images, feelings, without judgment. Don't force anything.
Like tuning a radio and just listening for the signal.
Exactly. And they use affirmations too, like I see clearly, my intuition guides me, to reinforce the intention.
So the goal is building trust in that inner vision, letting the third eye show you things.
Pretty much. Learning to distinguish its signal from the mental noise. The guide lists potential benefits for day 7. Mental clarity, feeling peacefully neutral.
Noticing those forehead sensations, the throbbing.
Maybe seeing more synchronicities in your life, meaningful coincidences. Or having more vivid, maybe symbolic dreams.
Signs that intuition is starting to communicate.
Right. And maybe noticing that fog lifting in certain areas, getting those aha moments. The reflection prompts you to compare, the feeling of the logical mind versus this inner voice, starting to tell them apart.
A crucial first step. But the journey goes higher, right? Day 8 involves the crown chakra.
It does. Day 8 is the peak universal alignment. It briefly shifts focus up to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, before weaving back.
The crown. That's about pure consciousness, connection to the divine, the universe.
Exactly. Beyond the elements, the center of cosmic consciousness, as the guide puts it, expanding beyond the individual self.
And when that's open, what's the feeling?
Unity, bliss, connection. Feeling guided, supported by life, seeing the interconnectedness of everything.
And blocked, feeling disconnected, apathetic, stuck in a narrow identity.
That's the description. So day 8 uses breathwork to really surge the energy upwards to the crown.
What techniques?
Starts with tumo breathing, with breath holds. That generates heat, pushes prana upwards forcefully. You visualize it shooting up the spine to the head.
Intense.
Followed by Pastrika Pranayama, bellows breath, also with a hold. This further charges the system. During the hold, you visualize 1,000-petaled lotus or violet-white light at the crown, aiming for stillness in that energized state.
Wow. Then does it balance out again?
Yes, alternate nostril breathing comes back in. After all that intensity, not Shodhana helps integrate the energy smoothly, grounds it a bit.
And Brahmari again?
Yep, humming bee breath, but this time directing the vibration to the crown, distributing the energy, dissolving tension up there.
And the meditation focuses on the crown.
Crown chakra meditation. Visualizing that white or violet light halo, feeling peace, unity, maybe using the Om mantra, resting in that sense of pure consciousness, universal intelligence.
What are the effects people report?
Feeling super light, blissful, wide open, sometimes a pressure or coolness on top of the head.
Rushes of empathy too, maybe, as that separation dissolves.
That's mentioned. Everyday worries fading away. And interestingly, often a spike in mental clarity and focus alongside the expansion. The guide links this to balanced crown influencing brain function.
So the reflection is about feeling that universal connection, insights received, may be profound silence.
Exactly. Connecting with that feeling of being guided and supported.
Okay, so after reaching that peak, connecting with the universal, day 9 circles back to the third eye, but deeper.
Day 9. Deeper third eye causal body and creation. This is fascinating. It shifts from just awakening intuition to actively using it for deeper insight and accessing possibilities.
The causal body. What is that, according to the source?
They describe it as this subtle layer of reality, like the blueprint level, where all possibilities exist before they manifest physically. The third eye is your doorway to perceiving this realm.
Whoa. So the goal on day 9 is to refine your intuition, to actually see these possibilities.
Yeah.
And maybe even shape them.
Yes, exactly. Honing creative insight. Consciously shaping your life by perceiving and aligning with the possibilities that serve you best. Moving from just receiving guidance to actively co-creating.
How do the practices support that? What's the breath work?
Starts with Kapalbhati Pranayama, skull shining breath, those short, sharp exhales.
Why Kapalbhati here?
The guide says it stimulates the frontal lobe, the third eye area, shaking up stagnant energy, doubt, anything blocking that clear vision. Focus stays between the eyebrows.
Clearing the way. Then what?
Then coherent diaphragmatic breathing, deep rhythmic belly breaths, but for a specific count, 33 breaths.
Why 33?
The guide presents it as a way to build prana specifically for the third eye with that steady, coherent rhythm, maintaining a calm focus there.
Okay, so cleanse with Kapalbhati, build focused energy with coherent breathing, leading to another meditation.
A shorter but very focused third eye meditation, maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
And this time is about visualization.
Conscious visualization. After the breath work, you actively visualize an intention manifesting. Seeing yourself healthy, achieving a goal, embodying a quality, seeing it clearly in your mind's eye.
The source says this is potent when the third eye is active.
Very potent. And you reinforce trust with affirmations like, all possibilities exist for me. I choose the one that serves my highest good. Connecting to that causal body idea.
And then silence again.
Brief silence afterwards, yeah. To let the causal body speak, maybe through insights, symbols, creative ideas bubbling up.
What kind of benefits are highlighted for day 9?
Heightened optimism, excitement, realizing you're not stuck, seeing new solutions, new paths emerge.
You're told to look out for intuitive signals during the day.
Definitely. Sudden ideas, flashes of insight about how things could unfold, creative spark. Improved visualization ability is also a key benefit.
And the core message is intuition plus intention, creation.
That's the powerful equation they present. They even mention how this overlaps with concepts like the brain's reticular activating system focusing on what you intend alongside the idea of manifesting reality. Science meets spirituality again.
Very cool. Okay, day 10 shifts again to prana.
D10 is prana power for intuition, boosting the life force to nourish intuition, make awareness sharper instantly.
Like charging the battery for your inner compass.
Exactly. The analogy is a lamp needs oil, intuition needs prana. You get prana from the elements food, water, sun, etc. But breath is the most direct way to charge up.
So the techniques focus on breathing for prana.
Centered on yogic belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, but with layers. 3 variations done sequentially.
Okay, walk me through them.
First, the basic deep belly breath. Hand on belly, hand on chest. Fill the belly, then chest, maybe shoulders lift slightly. Full expansion.
Got it. Variation 2.
Add visualization. Inhale, draw light or energy up from the earth all the way to the third eye. Exhale, visualize it flowing down from the third eye to the root chakra.
Creating an energy loop, connecting intuition and grounding.
Nice.
Yep.
And variation 3 integrates affirmation. While breathing in and visualizing up to the third eye, mentally repeat something like, I trust my intuition.
And exhaling down to the root.
Repeat something like, I am guided and grounded, doing it rhythmically with the breath and visualization.
Why is this combo powerful?
The guide says it infuses the breath and energy flow with the positive intention, helping reprogram subconscious doubts about trusting yourself. Literally breathing in trust, breathing out skepticism.
Makes sense. What comes after the breathing?
Triple A chanting.
Hmm.
3 times, open mouth sound. The guide says it vibrates energy up from the belly to the head, concentrating it at the third eye and crown.
Integrating the energy built during the breathing.
Right, and then a short silence, 1 to 2 minutes, just to observe, let insights surface.
What are the results of this prana power day?
Often a noticeable prana high, feeling energized, more aware, colors might seem brighter, mind clearer, a buzz in the body.
The third eye feels active but stable because of the grounding loop.
That's the idea. And the affirmations are working on the subconscious. People report a stronger connection to gut feelings, more confidence in following them, suddenly knowing what decision to make, learning to tune your inner radio by keeping it powered up.
Okay, we're nearing the end. Day 11 is mastery and expansion. What's the focus here?
Consolidation, deepening everything, helping you transition to living more consistently in that intuitive flow, amplifying the prana, solidifying the connection to your inner guide.
So doing more of the day 10 stuff.
Essentially, yes, but extended duration and intensity. Longer sets of the diaphragmatic breathing with the visualization and affirmations, maybe 5-7 minutes. Really engraving that third eye root channel.
Letting the affirmations sink deeper.
Right, repeating them until they almost dissolve into a meditative state. Imagining the vibration expanding through the whole body, even the aura.
Followed by a longer silent meditation.
Several minutes. The instruction is to trust your inner guide is present. You can ask a question inwardly, or just rest in the quiet, open to receiving.
What's the experience like after this deeper day?
People report a profound sense of settling into intuitive awareness, breaking through mental resistance into deeper calm.
Intuition feels stronger. Pranayama endurance improves.
Yes, feeling very relaxed but alert, deeply content, trusting not just big insights but subtle feelings too. Finding answers in the silence, feeling okay not having all the logical answers right away.
And the reflection prompts look back at the whole journey and forward to integration.
Exactly. Noticing changes from day 1 to day 11 and making commitments. How will you keep practicing after the challenge ends?
Recognizing it's a new way of being, not just a 12-day fix.
Right, which leads perfectly into the grand finale. Day 12, completion and illumination.
And this introduces a new, powerful technique.
Steady gaze meditation. It's renowned for third eye activation and developing intense concentration, kind of a capstone practice.
How does it work? Gazing at something without blinking.
Basically, yes. Usually a candle flame or a small point. It trains the eyes, but more importantly, it trains the mind to become incredibly focused, single-pointed. That focus is said to open the third eye.
Is there preparatory breath work?
Yes, a final power-up sequence. While gazing, you mentally repeat a third eye affirmation or mantra like, I see clearly, or in sync with slow breath.
And then what happens?
This is key. You gently close your eyes and observe the after image of the flame in your inner vision right at the third eye spot. That's the gateway to inner vision opening. You concentrate on that inner light.
And you repeat that cycle. Gaze, then inner vision. The source suggests that accessing this inner guidance system, this intuition, can genuinely help you navigate things better, make better choices.
That's the implication. And they point to Abhi Duggal himself, the creator of the challenge and the School of Breath.
How so?
The guide presents his work, creating these successful platforms like Meditate with Abhi and the School of Breath, as something that arises from living in alignment with these principles. It implies his path is guided by this connection to universal intelligence and intuition.
So his creation of these very resources is framed as an example of what becomes possible when you follow this path.
That living this way allows you to create impactful work and feel guided.
Okay, so pulling this all together from our deep dive into the companion guide, what's the key takeaway for someone listening?
I think it's that the guide presents a potential antidote to that feeling of being lost in the fog. The confusion, the indecision. It offers a structured path.
A 12-day roadmap towards clarity, intuitive guidance, peace, through balancing energy, activating the third eye, using breath and meditation.
And it reframes intuition, not as some mystical gift for the few, but as your body's inherent intelligence, something accessible, something you can cultivate, like developing a skill.
A skill for clearing away the bane, blocks the fear, the overthinking, the illusions that keep you stuck, opening up to insight, vision, that inner knowing.
Knowing that goes beyond just facts and figures. And the guide doesn't just leave you hanging after 12 days, right?
Yes.
It suggests ways to continue.
Right. Abhi Duggal apparently emphasizes in the guide that it's an ongoing journey. Keep practicing, keep integrating.
And they mention resources for that, like a membership.
Yeah, the holistic membership on the meditatewithabhi.com website for more resources and community support.
And an app, too, for starting out.
Yes, a free app called the School of Breath on iOS and Android, presented as a starting point.
And you can potentially join the membership later through the app if you want, making it accessible.
Seems like it. This challenge lays the groundwork, gives you the tools, but the real journey is continuing to use that inner compass daily.
Cultivating it, trusting it.
So as we wrap up this exploration, here's something to maybe mull over, connecting back to day 9 and that idea of the causal body.
Ah, yes, the blueprint level where all possibilities exist.
If trusting your intuition really does give you access to perceive that level, that realm of potential, how might that change things? How might it help you see and step into possibilities for your life that right now your logical mind hasn't even dreamed of?
What opens up when you navigate not just by what seems logical or probable, but by what your deepest inner knowing senses is truly possible?
That's a powerful question to sit with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today, exploring how breath and awareness might just unlock that incredible intelligence already waiting inside you.
We hope it inspires you to listen closely to your own inner voice and keep exploring its potential.